Hello and welcome to Green Healing, where we discuss alternative and natural healing from abuse, trauma, and CPTSD. Today, I'd like to discuss healing with the Big 5 personality traits, how understanding these traits can help us heal abuse trauma. I've spoken about the Big 5 personality traits in the past when assessing my own results from a test. You may also have heard people like Dr. Todd Grande talk about the Big 5 personality traits with the acronym OCEAN. I believe that understanding and knowing each trait and the sub-traits, especially when knowing if we are high or low in one of these traits or average, can help us heal abuse trauma. Knowledge is power, and understanding and knowing what to do once we know where we are with these can be quite empowering. At least it has been for me, since it helped to better assess my own symptoms and how to address these symptoms and triggers. Each trait also has sub-traits, also known as facets, and each facet has sub-facets as well, though these are less commonly known. The Big 5 personality traits are openness to experiences, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, hence the acronym OCEAN. Let's begin with those. Being high in openness may help us desire to try new remedies or simply be open to various outlooks regarding our situation. It means we are more creative and more prone to doing the things that help us feel good. Being low in openness may mean we have difficulty letting go to negative outlooks or fear trying a remedy or therapy we've never tried before. Being high in conscientiousness means we may have a better self-discipline and also tend to take others into consideration, so we may be more prone to figuring out ways to express ourselves non-violently. Nonviolent communication, NVC. Being sensitive to others as well as to ourselves. The drawback would be being too much of a people pleaser. Being low in conscientiousness means we may leave tasks unaccomplished, procrastinate our healing, care less for ourselves as well as for others, or have that imbalance of caring less for ourselves, too much for others. Being high in extroversion means we may enjoy social gatherings, be more prone to sharing our experiences. However, there are drawbacks where we might have poor ego boundaries and not filter ourselves enough. Being low in extroversion means we may prefer solitude. Social gatherings may exhaust us, drain us, and cause anxiety in regards to that. However, we may think about what to say and how much to say, which is a good thing. Being high in agreeableness means we may care for others very much. We enjoy helping and we feel for them. Again, the drawback would be too much of a people pleaser. Being low in agreeableness means we may care less how others feel. We may insult and belittle others. This could be related to emotional flashbacks and other symptoms as well, reacting outwardly how we feel we should have reacted towards our abuser. We may also belittle ourselves. Being high in neuroticism means we may experience a lot of anxiety. Emotional flashbacks hit us hard. Our mood can be volatile in the sense with flashbacks and such. We go from feeling fine to hitting the bottom of the emotional scale within seconds. We may have trouble bouncing back, though if high in some other traits, even if extremely high in neuroticism, we may still be able to bounce back after intense panic or rage attacks. Being low in neuroticism means we are probably more emotionally stable. It's not that these handle stress better, but how to re regulate the emotional state, have a better handle on that. So, this means that depression, rage, and panic may appear scarcely. Just with these, once you know where you stand, you can better assess what you need to do to help yourself heal. And of course, it is different for everyone. This is here as a guide, and it's not an affiliate to anything, but the Understand Myself test that I did a while back provides practical solutions as to what we may need to do or focus on to compensate for the drawbacks of being high or low in certain of these traits. All right, so let's have a look at the subtraits, which are also known as facets. Openness is divided into intellect and aesthetic openness. Intellect is not intelligence. It's simply the mere cognitive and logical stuff, which, if low, can cause difficulty assessing certain symptoms or analyzing them. It can also play a part with ADD/ADHD, where low in intellect means we are either creative or athletic instead of experts in programming or math or things like that. High in intellect can help analyze symptoms, assess emotional flashbacks with more logic, which can calm our panic or rage. Its sub-facet is ideas. Aesthetic openness means we'll look at the better option, the better outlook. We may be more positive, and this may help us bounce back after an intense symptom more easily. Understanding this subtrait is easier when looking at its sub-facets, which are actions, aesthetics, fantasy, feeling, and values. We will daydream. The drawback is dissociation, but we may also be creative, which when creating will raise our frequency of our emotional vibration. We may take action more for healing and hold our values dear, which in turn can help us strengthen our boundaries. If low in the subtrait, we may have more difficulty with the subfacets that help us feel better, but we may also be more grounded and present, which may compensate. It's good to find the balance for both. Those who are high in this subtrait are generally less grounded. Conscientiousness is divided into industriousness and orderliness. Again, the subfacets help us understand these better. The subfacets for industriousness are achievement striving, competence, and self-discipline. This means if high in the subtrait, we may have better self-discipline to achieve our goals, to heal, to grind. Being low means simply it will come with more difficulty. Orderliness has the subfacets deliberation, dutifulness, and order. High in this facet, we may be able to express ourselves well verbally, and we may be able to keep our life, emotions, and office in order. Low means we may be messy. Verbal expression may be more clunky, more clumsy, and we may generally be less organized. Extroversion is divided into enthusiasm and assertiveness. Enthusiasm also helps us bounce back, may give us hope, may get us excited about a new therapy or remedy. Its subfacets are gregariousness, positive emotions, and warmth. This means low in the subtraits may be difficult to see a positive outlook or to get excited about that difficult grind of healing we face every day of our journey. We may be more pessimistic or feel hopelessness at times, and there are Bach flower remedies for that. So there are always solutions when it comes to emotional healing. Assertiveness means we may have better ease expressing our needs, asserting our boundaries. Low in the traits means we have more difficulty saying no. The subfacets of the subtrait are excitement seeking, activity, assertiveness. Activity may help us exercise and such, especially combined with orderliness and discipline. Agreeableness has as subtraits compassion and politeness. So a combination of agreeableness and conscientiousness, both very high, is a recipe for people pleasing, for which we need to be aware and perhaps more careful. Compassion is also important towards ourselves. Self-compassion. Its subfacets are tender-mindedness, altruism, and trust. This last one is an important one. While we may be too trusting, it is important to develop a healthy trust with those close to us and with ourselves. Politeness's subfacets are compliance, modesty, and straightforwardness. Being high may mean we comply with an abuser, and perhaps we once upon a time fell into that trap. But with straightforwardness, we can figure that out more easily and see the path we need to take. Low in this, it will be easier to say no to an aggressor. Neuroticism is divided into volatility and withdrawal. Volatility's subfacets are anger, hostility, and impulsiveness. This means if high in these subtraits, we may experience rage, we may shout at others, or self-harm. Withdrawal subfacets are anxiety, depression, self-conscientiousness, and vulnerability. I see vulnerability normally as a strength when we are honest and open with someone we can trust, when we open up and assert ourselves, but combined with other subfacets of this subtrait, it may cause panic, dissociation, and depression. Neuroticism and its subtraits are ones we probably should try to focus on. If we are high, there are several things that can help re-regulate our emotional state. And I've been explaining some of these. Being high in this also means we may feel everything more intensely. Once past the phase of being numb, we may take longer to heal than some others, but that's okay. We just need to work on how we communicate our symptoms to be better understood, and work on healing and be compassionate with ourselves and patient with ourselves. It won't change our personality, but it will help balance us to be more re-regulated and grounded like those who are low in this trait. A lot of the information that I gathered for this episode of Green Healing is from mindtools.com. It has a good and simple graph, but it's in a different order than the acronym OCEAN. I will also put a link to check out the understandmyself.com test. I hope this episode has been beneficial to you. If you'd like to support Green Healing, there is merchandise and the Elements healing music, as well as the PayPal tip jar. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you're listening to it in its podcast form, thank you for listening. And as always, empower yourself and be emotionally free.